Welcome to lesson 2.8F, and this is our nomenclature review. So this is tying all the things we just talked about in lessons 2.8A through E together. Let's try to name these compounds. If you look at this compound, it's a metal, non-metal compound. So that's the first thing. It has a metal in it. Is this a transition metal? It is. That means it's a transition metal that's most likely going to need a Roman numeral. So the formula, or the charge on an iodide ion is -1, so copper must be a +1. So this one is copper 1 iodide. Look at the next compound, sulfur and nitrogen. Both of these are nonmetals, and so you will use prefixes to name these. So the prefix for 4 is tetra, so this one is tetrasulfur tetranitride. Notice the sulfur stayed the same, the name stayed the same, the nitrogen ending changed to IDE. This particular compound has a polyatomic ion in it, and so we know this is sodium, but we need to remember that the name of this particular polyatomic ion is hydrogen carbonate. So this one is sodium hydrogen carbonate, or you can call this sodium bicarbonate as well. Metal, polyatomic ion. So this one, we know this is barium. It's in column 2, so it doesn't need a Roman numeral. This is chromate, and so we just simply name that one barium chromate. Which is not the correct chemical formula for the compound named. So potassium phosphate. Potassium's a +1, phosphate's a -3. Iron 2 oxide, +2, -2, that one's good. Calcium carbonate, +2, -2, that one's good. Sodium sulfide, sodium's a +1, sulfur's a -2. So if you cross that, if you put the -2 down here, then we need a 2 there. So the correct choice on this one is D. That's not the correct formula for the compound name. Let's look at these. So metal, non-metal. Lithium is in column 1, so no Roman numeral, looks good. Metal, polyatomic, polyatomic's named correctly. This is a transition metal, so it needs a Roman numeral, looks good. This one, we could think that this is an acid, but it would have to be aqueous to be an acid, so we're going to just name it as is and name it hydrogen fluoride. This is a metal, non-metal. Notice they use the prefix. You only use prefixes for non-metal, non-metal, and so choice D is the correct answer on that slide. Copper 1 sulfide. Let's get the pen out on this one. Copper 1, so copper, and it's a +1. Sulfur is in the same column as oxygen, so it's a -2. So if I cross those, I end up with a 2 with the copper and a 1 with the sulfur. So B is your correct answer on that one. On this one, let's do that as well. Let's cross those. So let's go ahead and write it out. Iron has what charge? Well, it says it has a +3 according to those Roman numerals. Oxygen always has a -2. So if I cross those, I end up with 2 irons and 3 oxygens. So my correct choice is D. How about this one? Let's look at this compound. Magnesium, and that's a phosphate polyatomic ion with that magnesium. Magnesium's a metal, so it does not require a prefix. And magnesium is in group 2, and so it's always a +2, so it doesn't require a Roman numeral, and so that leaves us with the answer choice of C. Now this last slide is asking you to name an acid. This particular acid is an oxo acid, or has an oxo anion in it, and so we know that it can't be a hydroic, but it's very possible it could be something else. And so this one is a little bit deceiving in the fact that this is not a polyatomic ion that we learned about, this one right here. But if I tell you that that is the name of that anion is hypofluorite, then you would name this acid as hypofluorous acid because it's an ite. Use the whole name and just change the ending to us. Well, that concludes our nomenclature discussion, and that actually includes all the material that's going to be on exam 1. And so make sure you're doing the sapling homework and get plenty of practice and ask questions if you need them.